Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and we're going to continue on modeling the castle, and I believe this is part 6. So we've got the back completely finished. Well, we'll have it finished when we add another primitive in here, and that is the cone. So we're going to add a cone on the top. Looks like this one has a little roof instead of a flat little area. So we'll go ahead and finish that part. All right, under poly modeling, we're going to click on the cone, polygon cone, and we'll use it as is. And there's nothing much we can do with that except just place it on there. And go to the top view again. Trying to place things in the perspective mode just takes a lot of time and it's not as precise. And in here I could go ahead and match up the center pieces here, the center of the cylinder and the center of the cone. And this will make things a lot easier. So I'm going to zoom in real closely and just kind of get those centered together. Even though the subdivisions are different, we can still center it pretty closely. So I'm centering it on the top here and centering it on the bottom, and that looks like it's well centered. Okay, it's going to go in here, and you can see that I'm not quite at the center. So you can see that having the top view is great, but then I got to center it from the bottom view, or from the front view. So I'm going to move that up now that I have it centered. And I can see that I have wireframe on, hit the 4 key, and this allows me to see where I'm placing. You can see that this is where those little nodules are on the top, and this is the bottom of it. So you can see that now I've got it placed on the top. All right, since this is kind of looks like a roof, well, what I'm going to do is I don't want to like scale the whole thing, right? I just want to scale the bottom. So I'm going to go Control Z. I'm going to right click over it, go to vertex mode, and just scale the bottom part. So I'm going to use, instead of using these, which would make it oblong, okay, that's called non-uniform scaling when you do that. See, non-uniform scaling. So I'm going to scale the bottom all in all 3 directions, well, in all 2 directions, okay. X axes and Y, or X and Z axes, Z being this and X being this, and that does the 2 without making the top of it taller. Okay, so I'm going to go to the top view. This kind of helps me with that part, and you can see that if we scale it up, we go into it a little bit, but that's okay. That's kind of what we want to do with the roof of it. Okay, and how does that look? It looks like it's a little too pointed, like a little too tall. So I'm going to select the vertex, hit the W key, and just move that down. Like that. And that looks a little bit closer to what we have as far as the reference goes. Yeah, looks pretty good. Alright, what do we have going on in the back? I believe we have kind of this part right here in the wall. So let's go ahead and select marquee select these pieces here, and I need to be in selection mode, so I'm going to go to selection mode and go into object selection mode at the top here. So I'm going to marquee select that one, and then I'm going to hold the shift key down and hit the Q key so I don't see the manipulator. I'm going to go hold the shift key down and marquee select that, and that'll select those 2 together. Okay, because I'm assuming that there's another, the back piece is this piece right here on the other side, because I can't see it, right? All right, so I'm going to select that again, marquee select that, move it a little bit, hold the shift key down, marquee select that, and do a Control D, right? And move it back like that. Okay. The only thing is that the cubes or windows are facing the wrong way, which is easy to fix, right? Okay, so I'm just going to move that back. Okay, and because this is off a little bit, we'll have to make some adjustments, right? The first adjustment is I'm going to rotate this. So I'm going to make sure these are centered, and they are. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the top view. Okay. I'm going to select these guys, and I want to make sure that they are kind of centered with this piece right here, just as close as I can, something like that. And then I'm going to just rotate these guys, hit the E key and just rotate it around like this. Okay, let me show you kind of a cool little trick. Instead of going in here, you want to like snap scale, snap rotate. Let me show you how to do that. So double click on the rotate tool. You can do that for every tool. Double click on it. And if we want our axis orientation to be different, we can change it here. But right now, we're going to leave it as object. Okay, that sounds good because we're in object mode. And what we're going to do is click on snap to relative. And I'm going to type in something like 45 degrees. Of course, you can make it lower if you want to. Okay, and then that's good. Once you hit enter, you should be good. And so now when I rotate it, it'll snap. That's very cool. Okay, so I can snap it as I rotate it. Okay, see, now I've got the windows in the back. Okay, now you can make it, you can snap it at 90 degrees if you want to. Okay, so I'm going to Control Z that back, and I'm going to double click on that, and we're going to make this 90 degrees if we want to. Okay, just remember you have it on in case you forget. And you're like, how do I turn snap off? See, 90 degrees is a lot easier because it will do 90-degree increments. There we go. So that one's set up, and we're going to rotate this one. Here we go. Whoops. Sometimes it's a little finicky. There we go. And that's a rotational. Now we got that set up. Okay. So those walls look good. So I'm going to take these, hit the W key, and just move it into the wall. Like that, and let's go ahead and do the same thing, but this time we need to have this over on the other side. I'm going to select everything here, and at this point, if I rotate around I'm going to combine these two together. Okay, so I'm going to combine them together, right? So let's do a combine. I can just click on this, which is combine. And I can go to Control D and duplicate it. Okay, and go to the other side here. And let's go ahead and move that into the other side here like that. Just a little bit. Like that. Okay, and then we just have a space here we need to figure out. Now, because I can't see anything here, I have this artistic freedom. And what I'm going to end up doing is probably taking one of these, right, and duplicating it, Control D. Since I can't see it, I'm just going to put one in there, like that. All right, something like this. And kind of eyeball it to kind of put it in the center between those two. And I'm going to go to vertex mode. I'm just going to move these vertices here. Actually, let's go ahead and move these vertices this way so it kind of intersects the wall, and let's move these vertices this way like that. Okay, so it gives us that kind of look, which is kind of cool, like that. It's not really an entrance, but it kind of ties everything together. Okay. And the only issue we're having now is that we are kind of gapped here in the walls here like that. And in this instance, I would probably just move everything over, just kind of make everything work better that way. Let's go in here, and I'm just going to move these sections over until they close that gap. And I'm going to select these sections over here and close this gap like that. And I'll just take this piece here and go to vertex mode again and just move those pieces so they intersect, so we don't have any holes in the walls like that. So problem solved. Here we go. No gaps in the wall so far. Okay. keep accidentally hitting the Windows key. It's right by the Alt key. I always hit that accidentally. And so that's what we have so far. We just need to take this wall here, okay, this entire wall here that we created, and to unselect something, you can hold the Control and marquee select the stuff you don't want, and then do a Control D and move that over. Okay, because that side is going to be exactly the same. Go to the top view, and just now we're ready to, it's really taking shape now. Now we're just going to move that around a little bit like that. And the only thing we have to do is rotate this guy right here. Since it's center pivoted, let's go ahead and hit the rotate key, and we've got it snapped. And there we go. That's how easy that is. And just take a good, nice look at what we have so far. That looks pretty good. So far, so good. All right. So I'm going to stop there with this video, and then we can kind of work our way into what's happening here at the center. Okay. And I'll see you in the next video, and that will be our last video for the modeling part. I think we'll get everything completely finished then, and I'll see you in the next video.